I've always been a person who has never minded a challenge. Like, you're going to tell me no, no disrespect, but I'm going to prove you wrong. During this quarantine, I've found the silver lining in it where I feel like I've really been working on myself. This is the first time in years, seriously, real talk, where I've really sat down and I was like, Odain, what do you really want? So for me, I feel like this is God giving me a second chance to do it right. You spent all this time hustling. This is a reset button for you. So it's up to you to take this opportunity, and what you do with it is what you do with it. Can you see me?
I can see you perfectly. Odaingerous.
Dangerous is in the house. What's up?
In the house, dude. Welcome to my show. This is Getting Live with Lyndall Keith.
Yay.
And I know we go way back, so you know me as Keith, but these days it's Lyndall Keith.
Lyndall Keith. Okay, sorry.
Looking good, bro.
Thank you.
Absolutely. What's been going on in your world? First off, hey, everybody that's out there watching this is the one and only Odaingerous. Odaingerous is super, super talented singer-songwriter. He's done a lot of really cool things, turned into a fashion guru with his stellar line of clothing called Odaingerous, and we'll talk about where that name came from in just a moment.
Right.
Oh, I love to see how much success you're having with that, man. Your clothing is popping up on red carpets, and
yeah, you know, LA has taught me, life has taught me, you always have to just elevate and just like keep pushing. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what it's about. There's really no rules. There's no like set blueprint. Like, you basically got to create your own. And that's what I've done. You know, I feel like I'm still in LA doing my thing because I kind of found my lane, or my lane that I feel comfortable in. And I've just been pushing the whole time.
And that's all I've ever known you to do.
Yeah, and being consistent. I feel like that's the number one thing you got to do, is be consistent. Whatever you're doing, you just got to really be like very consistent at it.
Yes, absolutely. Consistency is the best method.
Yes, that's very
100%.
true.
So, man, you've overcome some stuff in your life, brother.
Yes.
I was with you in some deep trenches. You and I were both going through it at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, LA, a lot of it hasn't changed, but it's hard. It's hard out in these streets. You know, it's a very competitive city.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the city, in my opinion, where everybody, I mean, of course you have some amazing people, you're gonna have some amazing experience, but it's definitely the city where people are for sure looking out for their own well-being.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be very far and few between that you find or cultivate a group of people that are really going to look out for you and help you and really be 100% true to you.
It's hard, man.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. It's definitely a tough city, and it definitely takes a certain tenacity and personality type in order to really like navigate everything here and survive.
Yeah, it'll suck the life out of you, man. So I got to give you like major kudos, bro, because I mean, I know back in the day you were going through some stuff, man, and the fact that you're still there.
I know. Sometimes literally sometimes I'm like, well, every morning I literally first thing I always thank God for another day, and I always thank God. I always pray that I can be the best version of myself today. I always say that, because trust me, I look in the mirror sometimes, I'm like, wow, you're still in LA, you're still here, because things got crazy where it's like, even if people knew some of these stories, they'd be like, no, there's no way that happened. It's like, yes, it happened. And unfortunately, it was happening frequently at some points. You know, it was like so many things going on, so much drama, so many doors closing all at one time. And you can feel hopeless. You can feel like, okay, is this the place for me? You know, but I've always been a person who has never minded a challenge. Like, I don't mind, okay, like, you're going to tell me no disrespect, but I'm going to prove you wrong. That type of vibe, you know?
Yep, absolutely. And if they don't believe you about your stories, you can be like, hey, just go ask Lyndall Keith, man, because that fool's getting live with it. He got some stories. Are you
No,
still you
for
still live
real.
in Hollywood and Highland?
What happened?
Do you still live in Hollywood and Highland?
No, I left Hollywood and I'm actually, God willing, this year, I'm going to be moving a little bit outside of LA because I'm kind of transitioning myself mentally where I'm in this really like peaceful, spiritual place where I feel like been there, done that. I
Yeah.
don't want to be in LA like that anymore because I feel like I've been on this hamster wheel for so long. And I feel like for me, in order to really maintain my peace, creativity, survival, I got to move a little bit outside of the city. So I'm actually I'm in the process of like getting a house, buying a house. So I'm kind of like, this is a good transition for me. So I can go to LA, do my little networking thing and, just make sure the brand stays relevant, etc. But me, Odain Watson, like my truth, I got to be outside of the city. I already did that whole part, every event, every party,
Yep.
all that, everything. It's like,
For
you know,
years.
for years.
For years. Are you sliding towards like Agora Hills, Woodland
Yeah,
Hills?
like I want to be out in a valley somewhere, like peaceful, like where nobody cares what you do. They don't care that you, whatever. It's just, and if the interaction, I just want genuine interactions. I don't want the first thing that somebody asks me is, what do you do? Where do you live? What kind of car you drive? I
Yep.
want to be like, you think I'm great and I think you're great. So let's interact with each other. Hey, I'm going to cook. Hey, you want, like, I want normalcy, quote unquote. Like I went to back home, Albany, for my high school reunion in November, and literally like I left my high school reunion and I was so inspired because I got LA can be so draining, and I was like, oh my God, this is what it's like to have real friends. This is what it's like to have genuine interactions with people. Because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you can get lost in the hype of Hollywood and the red carpet and PR people and you feeling like FOMO, like fear of missing out. And that was me for so long where I was like, I gotta be at this party. Oh my God, I gotta be at every red carpet. Like I gotta be at everything because I'm always thinking like, what if, what if, what if, what if? But it's like, well, what about your peace? So for me, even during this quarantine, of course, it's unfortunate circumstances, etc. But I've found the silver lining in it where I feel like I've really been working on myself. Like this is the first time in years, seriously, real talk, where I've really sat down and I was like, oh, Dane, what do you really want? Like, who are you for real? Fuck the social media stuff and you met this person or you have the.
Oh no,
Yeah,
man.
because at the end of the day, none of that matters. Like, what is it? Who are you and what is it that you really like, what makes you happy? So this has been like part of my journey of being like, I love LA. I've had great experiences. I've had great opportunities. I definitely want to be a leader as far as like, people to be able to be like, wow, he went through this, he went through that. And like, you know what I'm saying? Create opportunities for people. But it's my time to kind of transition out of like LA and just be more like at home.
Dude, I love that. I feel you too, man. When you're talking about the FOMO thing, it took me a long time. Dude, I've been back in Dallas now for 7 years. It's been
Wow.
7 years since I left LA. And you know what? I still have moments of high anxiety, of missing out on red carpet events.
Yeah.
Because when you're engulfed in that for so long,
It's
and
hard.
that's your life and that's your identity, and you feed off of that stuff because it gives you some type of validity or whatever, when that goes away.
And see, that's the thing. That was the change in me because I subconsciously I feel like I started to feel like that gave me worth. Like the fact that I'm at all these things, but then I would go home and I would be really incomplete.
Yeah.
But then, of course, the next day, you're getting ready for the next thing. So you don't have any time to really process who you are, and what's really going on with yourself, and this time has taught, I mean, we all have had to sit down. Like for me, this is God, this is the universe giving us all an opportunity to press the reset button. So for me, I feel like this is God giving me a second chance. Like, I'm giving you a second chance to do it right. You spent all this time hustling, meeting sometimes the wrong people, having all these life experiences that have maybe not been favorable. This is a reset button for you. So it's up to you to take this opportunity, and what you do with it is what you do with it. But that's the kind of message that I'm getting from this experience with the whole COVID-19 thing, is that God is giving us all an opportunity to press the reset button. And at least for me, I feel like this is like a new chapter for me. Like, you're not going to see the same things that I did in the past. Like, I don't want to be like, because I'm like, I did that already. You know what I mean? And I'm not getting any younger. We're all getting, so for me, it's like living in my truth constantly and just elevating. I don't want to be the same person that I was 4 or 5 months ago, 6 months ago. I want to say, okay, these were the lessons that God has put in my life, and these are the stepping stones that God has put in my life to progress. Because if I keep repeating the same things, I'm going to get the same result,
Preach it.
The world is sitting down. So this is our time for us to really work on ourselves, because where are you going to go?
You know what? And you know what I think is so cool? Everything that you're saying right now is so spot on, hit the nail on the head. And I honestly believe the reset button point that you're making.
So true.
And I think, honestly, that becoming the best version of yourself is going to start trending.
I hope so.
And I really hope it does, man, because,
I literally pray. I wake up, I say, thank you, God, for another day. God bless it. I could be the best version of myself. That's my daily, morning, 365 days a year, every day thing, because that's my thing. I don't always get it right. I've made mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I do give my best, Yeah. I sometimes fall short, but my intention is always there. My intention is always there. And sometimes you got to look at the person's intentions, because sometimes things doesn't work out for various different reasons. And sometimes those reasons are out of your control, especially when you live in a city like LA.
Oh, amen.
There's a lot of sharks out in this town. So you can be going into it with a perfect mindset, and then somebody just wants to kind of shake things up for their own personal agenda. And at the end of the day, you might look bad. You might look like you're the fall guy, or you did something wrong, and you don't always want to like speak on it, because then it makes you look like you're trying to like
make excuses.
Yeah, make excuses, but which has happened to me so many times. There's so many things I haven't really like talked about, where I'm like, it made me look a certain way, but really it was something else. But I didn't want to look like, oh, I'm just trying to like cover my own butt or whatever. You get what I mean? So I just was like,
no, exactly what you mean.
Whatever.
Yeah. That exact thing is what happened to me in 2013.
Yeah.
It was a really very interesting situation. And, it was my mistake ultimately that caused the big demise of the situation. But, my mistake is really the only thing that got highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
So for so long, I wanted everybody to know the full story. Yeah. Well, you don't know. Well, this happened.
Yeah, like that's your natural thing. Like, automatically, especially with me, I automatically go in attack, because I feel like I have to defend myself. Especially when you've worked so hard, and then people want to like try to tear down your work, you know what I'm saying? Or like say something about you, and you're like, no, that's not me. So immediately you go on that defense, like, no, but I've learned silence is golden. Like, the people who really know you, and I just feel like the truth always kind of comes out. Like, it always kind of plays itself out. Like, you might look like the villain at that moment, but I feel like for me, the best thing has always been just to not really say anything, because it's going to become like a whole back and forth situation, and it's just going to escalate to something that it doesn't need to.
So yeah, I mean, you get involved in certain situations. It's just you know, you
But
don't
that's part of being a business person too. You know, not everybody, sometimes it's not even something that you're doing. It's because, unfortunately, this is something else I've, experienced so many times. Not everybody wants to see you win. I remember my mom, when I was younger, used to say, not everybody's your friend. You know, and I didn't know what that meant, to be honest with you, until I was an adult. Like,
Yeah.
not everyone's your friend, you know, like, not everybody wants to see you succeed. Like, as crazy as that sounds and as messed up as that sounds, it's a truth. You know, some people really will try to go out of their way to be dysfunctional towards you, just because, you know, because maybe you're doing something that they inspire to do, and they're angry. But instead of having dialogue, conversation, inspiring one another, helping one another out, they feel like the best strategy is for them to try to tear you down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, I've experienced that in my life also.
Yeah, I remember whenever I met you is when you had that single come out with Lil Wayne,
Mm-hmm.
and literally that was your identity. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. You know what's crazy? I was at
You allowed that song. You allowed that song to be your identity. And looking back, I'm sure you can go, damn, I did that, and I learned a lot from that. And
yeah, that was the craziest time of my whole life, because I feel like I was still figuring myself out, like, personally. And then I was new to LA, and I feel like, even though New York taught me a lot about self-identity, hustle, etc., LA is not the town. I tell you all out there, I'm telling you all, LA is not the town to come to if you don't know who you are. This is not the town to be figuring yourself out.
Amen.
No, go somewhere else, stay home. Once you can stand on both feet and you have conviction in who you are, then come here.
Then come out.
Trust me, the gates of hell will be wide open.
It will swallow you up so good.
They will swallow you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So if they don't drive you back home, they will drive you to Hollywood Boulevard talking to yourself, picking out of the trash can.
I've seen it. I've seen so many people who have even been on successful TV shows.
Yeah.
I've seen them on the other side of life. You know what I'm saying? As I was like, you know, there's nothing wrong with being a delivery person. Not at all. Trust me. At all. And that's not to say that, yeah, you got a big show and now you have to deliver DoorDash or Uber Eats or something. No. We all have ebbs and flows in our career. So definitely I'm not trying to say that. But
yeah, especially in that business.
Yeah, but when you see someone and then you're like, oh, wow, and they look a certain way, and you knew that you can tell that there was obviously some situation that happened in between that, and that's fine. But once again, it all goes back to this town. You got to be very, very strong-minded. You got to have both feet on the ground, or else, you know. But going back to what we were talking about, I was still figuring myself out. And then I'm entering in this business. I was already in the business, but LA is a different ball game, because LA is like the Olympics of entertainment. Everybody wants to win that gold medal. They're only going to give out a couple. Everybody's here. They will claw. They will trip you. They will put beads out on the stage so you fall and break your leg. Like, it's rough out there, you know? So I didn't know that yet back then. I'm thinking, I'm a theater kid from New York. So I'm thinking like Broadway, everyone's nice. I'm talented. So they're going to just go off. I didn't know all these things. And on top of that, I'm still figuring myself out personally. So that was like a double kind of whammy. But through the grace of God, I was able to somewhat, not all the time, somewhat keep a level head through all of it. Because even now it's sometimes like a struggle, but that's why I've developed my own system. Even prior to this quarantine, where I go out, I do my jobs. As far as like, I'll go out, I'll network, I would do my work, and then I stay to myself. Like my friend list, like people who I hang out with, like on a more real level, not people that I'm at an event with that I saw last week. Oh, hey, not that vibe. It's
Right.
like one hand. That's it. Because I have to protect my peace. Or if not, because I don't ever want to be that person. Like you said earlier about validation, I never want to feel like something can put validation on me. I have to validate myself. You know,
Yep.
there was a point in time where I did feel that way. Like, oh, I'm here with these people and da da da. And it's like, no, you're still broke. You're still going home alone. So what's the point? You know what I mean? So I had to learn to get out of that mindset, you know? And then I also feel like that blocks your blessings, that blocks you from opportunity because you're focusing on the wrong thing. You got to be focused on your work and doing the best work. And the chips will fall how they may. If God wants me to Odaingerous to be this mega brand, which I want it to be, not even for ego purposes, but for opportunity purposes, you know,
Yeah.
then it will. As long as I put the work in and I do dope stuff and I'm truthful to my creative process and I'm truthful to what I'm doing. If other people see it, great. If not, cool. That's why when I was pursuing music and people now would be like, oh, what happened? What happened? I was like, it just didn't work out the way that I wanted to work out. And that's fine. Like, I don't feel like, oh, it didn't happen for me or whatever. I feel like I transitioned to stuff as I transitioned to stuff. I got older. I had different life experiences. Different things weren't as passionate to me as they used to be, you know, or I wasn't willing to do certain things, you know, like I wasn't willing to compromise my own morals to get ahead in the industry. I was like, nah, I'll figure out another way to make money. I'm creative. So, you know, I'll tap dance on Hollywood Boulevard if I have to, but as
I
long
know
as
you will.
activity. Yeah, and you know me, I totally would. You'd be like,
I know
he's
you would. And I'd be right there with you. I'd have a sign. I'd be promoting you. I'm his manager.
I mean, you know, you have to take what you have inside and exude it to the world, you know, and people are going to get it or they're not. But as long as you're at peace and you're truthful to yourself, that's all that matters.
Man, it is so good to hear you talking like this.
It's the truth. And I'm so happy that I'm in this space. I'm happy that I can share this with you because we've known each other for so long. And you've seen me go through so many different things, you know, and also something that I want to touch on is people really only focus on the end product, the success. They don't talk about what it takes, what somebody went through, their experiences, their story, their trauma a lot of times.
That's what this show is about.
Yeah, and how they can heal themselves so that way they can progress. And that's something that I also had to learn. Like in this industry, I've experienced a lot of trauma. So it was like, if I didn't heal myself, then I would bring that into my personal life, into my business, and I would start having resentment towards the industry. You know what I mean? And I never wanted to be that person. The creative arts should be fun, uplifting. We're supposed to be inspiring people. You know, we're not supposed to be suicidal because we didn't get that gig, or, you know, we got to learn to self-help with ourselves. You know, like mental health is a big thing that people really got to also start working on, especially now we're all in the house. So now's the time to pick up that book, do an Amazon, do a Barnes & Noble's online, read, journal, you know what I mean? Like work on your path. Don't look to the right or to the left, look straight and just work on your own individual path.
Yep, you just illustrated perfectly my last 2 months.
Yeah.
That's all I've been doing. I mean, I got books, I got journals, I got notebooks, and, you know, just really spending a lot of good quality time with myself and doing self-reflecting and really focusing on what's important and do away with all the distractions. And there's so many distractions that just bombard all of our minds all the time. This banner, this ad, this person, this like, this tweet, this Instagram, this Snapchat, this, and it's a constant
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
freaking whirlwind. I was just
Your whole mental capacity of yourself. You know, like, oh my God, I didn't get this many likes on. That's why I post on our Odaingerous social media, and I just leave it to God. Or
yeah.
a product, I used to beat down on myself the first like 2-3 seasons. I was like, why are the stylists not pulling? Why didn't so and so wear my clothes? They promised me this. Why? I was so, and I was getting angry. I'm being so honest. I started getting so angry because I was like, I'm doing good work. I know my stuff is great, and I'm meeting all these stylists. We're at the same parties, whatever. Why are they not pulling my stuff? They pulled so and so. So now I had to let that go. I see them. I'm very respectful to them because they're artists in their own right, and I don't know what they're possibly going through. And I always had to remember that too. You never know what somebody's going through. And I just leave it alone. I'm like, what's meant for me is meant for me. I can't be looking to the right or to the left or worrying about, oh, this other brand got so-and-so on their clothes and I pitched and I didn't get the gig or whatever the case is. You know, I just had to like let all that go and just say, focus on the DNA of the brand. Focus on the DNA of yourself. Do great work. Be the best at what you do. And let the chips fall as they may, as long as you're at peace with yourself.
Yeah, you'll attract the right tribe. Yeah.
You know, and that's, to me, it's like, I feel like I've opened up so many other opportunities to myself because I let all that go.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So the name Odaingerous is really dope. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, from you.
From me? I'm the one that came up with that?
Because
let it be known. Let the cat out of the bag.
It's true talk. Let it be known. My life to this day has always been up and down and this and that and all over the place. And I remember one day you were like, you're so Odaingerous, because it's like there was never really anything like set in stone. And that's kind of how my life still is. It's like 1 minute I'm like on the brink of extinction, and the next minute I get like something big happening. I mean, that's life, and then that's the entertainment industry. But that really is what I've made the center of the brand, creating your own reality and living in your truth. Because doing both of those things, you're going to be up, down, but you got to, once again, have both feet on the ground and be focused. And that's really what the brand stands for. Is like, I don't care what nobody says. I don't care if I only got $1 in my pocket. I'm going to make this happen for myself. I'm going to, you know, because I've learned, you dress, you present yourself for the life that you want, not the life that you are in at that moment. So I don't care if you are living in your car. You get out and you walk with confidence, with, you know what I'm saying? Like, because
like in the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, you gotta attract that energy. And that's what the Odaingerous brand stands for, is the underdog, because I consider myself an underdog.
I love it. That's fantastic.
Yes.
And you were the star of a BlackBerry commercial when I first met you.
I was. But I know. What happened to BlackBerry?
I have no idea, dude.
I know. What sucks is that literally after I did that commercial, the company went down the drain. But I don't think
it wasn't because of you, bro.
Me, because I mean, I was just out there having fun. You know, that was all improv. There was no script. They were like, just whatever. It was like very impromptu. But yeah, BlackBerry. But I was literally, that was my favorite phone. I do like the iPhone, but my BlackBerry, I miss the BlackBerry. They tried to reinvent it. They could, but they just needed like a different.
Yeah, they tried to make a touchscreen version, I think.
Yeah, they did.
Touchscreen version of it.
Yeah, and they launched it in LA at Chaconi's. I remember that. And they invited me. And
please come back, Odain.
They invited me to the event, and that was such a great event. And they literally gave out free phones that night. And yeah, they tried to do it, and that was their last their last hurrah. But what was really cool, I don't remember his name. I got to look it up in my emails. I became really cool with one of the creative directors from the ad agency, and he really was trying to look out for me. Anything the ad agency was doing, they're based in Chicago, big ad agency, one of the biggest. BlackBerry was a client of theirs, but me being the hustler that I am, after I got that commercial, I was keeping in touch with the ad agency, like, hey, I'm available for other clients. Yeah. So he was trying to look out, like, oh, because McDonald's, Coca-Cola, I mean, they had big accounts, you know? But he always tried to look out for me, like, oh, I don't know if they're, like, you know, he would try to get me the casting people's information. But that was a time when I was on that treadmill of life, of like the acting hustle, because that's a whole nother hustle. You know, fashion, I think it's all hard. I remember like music, acting, now in fashion, it's like, dude, can't you just get a regular job? You know what I mean? Like,
don't ever get a regular job.
No. I'm just joking, but
I know you won't.
It's just kind of like all these like crazy career choices. You're just like, okay, let me make it harder for myself to pay my light bill. Let me make it even harder.
Where are you living right now?
I'm living in Northridge right now.
Oh, you're in Northridge. Okay.
Northridge, yeah.
You like it out there?
It's different. I'm only going to be here for probably like a couple more months because, like I said, I'm in the process of buying a house, so I'm so thankful for that. But I want to stay in the valley. Yeah, dude, because I want a house with my dog. I want to like go home. I want to have ownership. I want to have assets because I feel like no matter what God has in store for me, I want to be like, I came to LA and I did my damn thing and I have something to show for it.
That's what I was just about to say. You know what? No matter what happens, if you can go to LA and end up buying a house, if you go to LA with a dream, with $1 and a dream
in itself,
you made it.
Testimony in itself. So for me, I said this year, I prayed about it in 2019. I said 2020, you're getting a house. I said we just gotta keep it going, because the beginning of this year was end of 2019 was very hard for me. The beginning of 2020 was devastating, which brings me, shameless plug, to my new collection that comes out in 2 weeks called Revenge. And when I say revenge, I don't say that in the traditional sense of revenge, but it's about what does revenge mean to you? Because when trauma happens, people do mean things to you or things that go against who you are as a person instinctively. I don't care who it is. It could be the biggest churchgoer, and your immediate instinct is, how am I going to get back at this person? How am I going to remedy this situation? Even animals, you do something to an animal, they're like, oh, you know, it's a you know? So I named this collection Revenge because I wanted to be a conversation and an illustration of what revenge means to people. So with the brand, we talk about backstabbers, you know, we talk about success, we talk about fake friends. So you're going to see a lot of that graphically designed on the clothes. So that's going to be out in 2 weeks. But through all my collections, I've always taken from my own personal journey, even with the caution and crime scene stuff. People don't know that happened because somebody else did something crazy to me, and I just put it in the clothes. I just was like, you know what? Let me create this custom textile. You know, granted, everybody's seen a caution, you know, tape, you know, for different reasons, or crime scene tape, but you never really saw it done in fashion in that kind of streetwear way. But it came from an individual doing something. And I said, you know what? Because, you know, I'm coming up with these collections and I'll go on what I call my prayer walks, where sometimes I just walk around like randomly, like, where am I going? I don't know. I just walk around and I pray, or I'll go hiking and I'm like, okay, I got to come with a concept. I never want to put something out there that's just mediocre or doesn't have any meaning behind it. Even if it's like a plain black t-shirt, this is not my brand, it's a plain black t-shirt. If I put something out there, there's purpose. Every collection, even those clear coats, if I have stories, so everything has a story. And if I told you some of the stuff, what stuff really meant, you'll be like, okay, but it's true. And I'll have a conversation with somebody, and then if it sticks with me, I'm like, okay, I might put this in a thing. So back in January, I found out some very devastating news that one of the closest people that I've known for a long time, probably one of the, stabbed me in the back. I was like, no, not again. So I was heartbroken. I was devastated. I went maybe like 2 weeks of my like boo-hoo-hoo. I was still going out. You see them Instagram posts. That smile was still there. Y'all would have never knew that I was going through some stuff. But I was out there just doing my thing. And then I was like, what are we going to do with this? We're going to either be reactive or proactive. And I said, revenge. You feel like you want to seek, you want to get at this person, but we're not going to do that. For you, success has always been the best revenge. With the brand, it's success. But let's talk about the dialogue about it. Let's talk about backstabbing. What does success mean to that person? Let's talk about fake friends, and let's put it in the clothes. So that's how I came up with that.
That's awesome. You said it comes out in 2 weeks?
May 15th. That's the date that tomorrow the world should know a bunch of stuff tomorrow that I'm not allowed to say yet, but yes.
Awesome. Well, is there anything that you are allowed to say?
That I am doing a collab with a big, I guess you could call him a TV personality who had a big show on Netflix. I'll just put it that way.
Cool.
Incarcerated. I'm giving a lot of hints. And he's going to be like the face of my brand of the revenge.
Well, I was going to ask you. That's what I was going to ask you next, because I know close to the beginning of you releasing the clothing line, you were talking with Lindsay Lohan before the thing happened, and poor girl, man. It's really a really sad situation. And
that's like the perfect example of how Hollywood can be a very beautiful, ugly place. I mean, I think she, in my opinion, to this day, is one of the most talented actresses.
She's extremely talented.
She's extremely talented, but the system and the infrastructure of Hollywood is not built on, and they reward bad behavior. They don't say, hey, like, you're going down the wrong path. They want that, at least at that time, I don't want to speak on that now, to get more sensational stories. You know what I mean? So unfortunately that happened, but everybody loves a comeback. I think, there's plenty of opportunities for her, but I think once again, it's about what you want. I think she's kind of in a different place in her life. I know she doesn't live in the United States, or I know she doesn't live in LA. I don't even think she lives in the United States anymore. So I'm sure she's just in a different place in her life where she's at peace and she's finding herself. I know she just released a new single. I posted it on my on our Instagram, supporting her and just saying, hey, because I still love her. I still want to work with her.
Yeah. Who wouldn't?
Because she's such a great story, and I feel like she still has the same reps, different agent, I think, but she's still at ICM. I think that the team, she needs to, it's almost like Winona Ryder, like how she had her personal situation, but they found that right vehicle to kind of like usher her back into like, stop. Sorry, my dog. I think the right vibe is gonna to.
Now my dog's barking because your dog barking.
Stop it! Stop! Go. Dogs, people, dogs. They're like humans.
This is my dog.
Oh.
Say hi, Dolce. Dolce, say hi to Odaingerous.
Hello, Dolce.
Dolce, what's up? What's up? Arf, arf, arf.
God, why are you focused?
Dog day. Okay, I gotta put you down now. Cool, brother. Hey, man. I'm extremely happy for you, dude.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm super proud of you. You know, I think back, like, we were both living in little tiny apartments and, you know, right across the street from each other, Hollywood and Orange.
Yes, Hollywood and Orange.
Yeah, represent, dude. And I think even for a while, a couple blocks down when I was living in that office.
Yes, on Hollywood Boulevard.
We were both scrounging, bro.
Did that pilot?
Yeah.
Pilot. I mean, that's the thing in LA. It's like people. That's what I'm saying. Like, but what I am really thankful for is that we put in the work. Like people don't know. Like, especially now. This was pre-Instagram and social media. Now these kids, I call them, you know, they just think like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna be an overnight success. I'm just gonna be an influencer. I'm just like, no, you gotta work. You gotta plant the right seeds. You know what I'm saying? You have to really have the right foundation. You just can't just show up and do a selfie and post and think like, you know, it's like, no, like we were out there creating opportunities for ourselves in any which way there was. You know, we're like, okay, we're still about it this weekend. Next weekend, we're trying to do book recording studio time. Then, you know what I mean? Like, we were out there hustling.
Yes, we were, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we were broke as hell.
Yeah, without any money.
I remember I was sleeping in that office. I remember sitting there counting out my change on the desk. I'll never forget this. I'm counting my change, and you go, do you have access to be able to get an extra line on your AT&T? I need a phone. And I started an extra line for you. Do you remember that?
I don't.
You don't remember that?
You did? What did I pay it? Did I pay it?
No.
Oh no.
Do you remember? Dude, I put this on.
Oh, I do remember that. I do remember that.
One of the biggest negative marks on my credit is because of that phone number. Huh?
What was my phone number back then?
I don't even remember. It was a 310.
Like 7 years ago.
No, it was longer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably 11 years ago.
Okay.
That was 2009.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were hella broke, dude.
Yeah, that was LA too. LA has completely changed since then too. Completely, like 1,000%.
Well, I was there in 2013 is when I moved back, and that was like Instagram really just first started. Mm-hmm. Whenever I left, Facebook was the thing, Twitter was starting to trend, but Instagram had just started. So I haven't experienced like Instagram Hollywood.
Oh, it's a different animal because everybody's super young and they're like influencers.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm like, we've been working for years to perfecting our talent. And you guys are just like, I'm an influencer. And the brands, and they're getting all the jobs. And I'm not knocking them, but it's just a different, it's a different vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we're out there like, well, we're going to start record labels. We're going to start management companies.
Like, I'm just going to post and I have 1 million followers and I'm going to get verified on Instagram. And then I'm going to get all these brands to give me all this free stuff.
People are killing it, man. Like, those kids are making money. But the thing, like you said, most of them don't have enough experience to have a solid enough foundation for all of that stuff to live on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have that.
They don't have the experience to have the foundation. They're thinking like post, like that's it. I'm wondering what these influencers are doing now because of what's happening. Because I already think that the world is going to change. The world has changed. It's going to change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Change. So now that whole influencer thing is going to change too, because now these brands and these companies are going to have to interact with them in a different way. Granted, it's only photos, so yeah, they can be isolated, but I just feel like the whole vibe is going to have to be completely different.
Yeah, man, I'm so proud of you, dude. I'm excited for everything that's coming. So check out Odaingerous.com. Thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next time. You can follow me on the gram and the tweets, even though I don't ever tweet. I tweet like once every 5 months. Everything is at Lyndall Keith. So follow me. We got a lot of cool guests coming down the pipeline. And on this show, once again, we talk about
creating your reality, finding your truth, and setting the right foundation.
Boom! That's what I'm talking about. Peace to you guys. Much love. Be well. Be safe. Holla.